Hey there, boys and girls, it's Miss Moon, and today I have a story for you by Janelle Cannon. If you remember back at Halloween, we read a book called Stella Luna about a cute little bat. This story is called Verdi, and it's about a snake. It's one of my favorites. Sometimes it makes me cry, so hopefully I don't cry today. Make sure you can see the pictures here. On a small tropical island, the sun rose high above the steamy jungle. A mother python was sending her hatchlings out into the forest, the way all mother pythons do. Grow up big and green as the tree's leaves, she called to her little yellow babies as they happily scattered among the trees. But Verdi dawdled. He was proudly eyeing his bright yellow skin. He especially liked the bold stripes that zigzagged down his back. Why the hurry to grow up big and green, he wondered. Maybe some of the older snakes in the jungle could tell him. Verdi ventured into the treetops to look for them. Umbles, Aggie, and Ribbon were laying on some branches nearby. Verdi peered at their droopy green bodies. "It's not polite to stare," chided Aggie. Umbles burped and groaned. "It's taken nearly 4 weeks for that last lizard to digest. I surely do like lizards, but lizards don't like me." "Why don't lizards like you?" asked Verdi. "Don't interrupt," Umbles grumbled. "Dear me," whined Aggie. "If I don't shed soon, this itchy skin will drive me bananas." Verdi tapped a tune with his tail as he waited to speak. "Stop that, Verdi. It makes me nervous," Ribbon complained. "Besides, you'll never grow up to be properly green, always interrupting and constantly fidgeting." Verdi couldn't imagine being in such a hurry to be like them, and he really wanted to keep his sporty stripes. Hoping to find snakes that weren't so boring, Verdi slipped away. Dozer was snoring in a tree not far from the others. "Hello," said Verdi. "Do you want to come climb trees with me?" "I'm tired," Dozer growled. "Do a few laps around the jungle, okay?" Verdi's heart sank. Greens were not only lazy and boring, they were rude. At the top of a very tall tree, Verdi gripped one branch with his tail and another with his little snake jaws. "I will never be lazy, boring, or green," he thought. "I will jump and climb and keep moving so fast that I will stay yellow and striped forever." And then Verdi let go. Oh, this is such a cool page. Look at him take off there. Shooting through the air. Oh, flipping around. From a distance, the Greens watched. "Oh my," they chorused. Ribbon shook his head. "At this rate, he'll be lucky to make it to his first molt." Aggie nodded. "He's likely to put an eye out on a branch." Umbles moaned. "He may not live to turn green." But one day Verdi's skin began to peel, revealing a pale green stripe stretching along his whole body. You guys might have heard on the last page what that was called. It started with a Bet some of you just said it. It was the word molt. So he's molting for the first time. He's shedding his old skin and he's revealing this bright new skin beneath there. Uh-oh, my doggy is trying to eat a marble, so I'm going to take it out of his mouth. Silly puppy. But one day, Verdi's skin began to peel, revealing a pale green stripe stretching along his whole body. "Keck!" he gasped. "How can this be? I'm the speediest snake in the jungle, and I'm still turning green." He raced down to the river, grabbing up a mouthful of rough leaves. Verdi flung himself into the water. "If I can't run this green off, I will scrub it off," he thought. See him scrubbing his skin with those leaves? His frantic splashing caught the eye of a large bottom feeder, cruising the murky depths. "Yum," the old fish hummed. "Lunch." Before the fish could haul Verity under, the frightened snake bit him on the nose. Apoo! With a blast of his rubbery lips, the great fish sneezed, sending Verity into the air. Slapping onto the soggy shore, Verity skidded out of reach. Phew! That was a close one. That was close, he sputtered. Every inch of his body was covered with wet, gloppy mud. Kind of lumpy, kind of brown. It sure beats being green. He left the mud on. But the soft brown muck dried into a hard gray shell, and Verity could barely move. If he even budged, the stuff cracked off in jagged chunks. As each piece fell away, Verity could see that his body was even greener than before. "This is terrible!" cried Verity. He pictured himself hanging around the old greens. He looked up into the sky where the sun blazed a beautiful yellow, just the color he used to be. Then he pulled a vine to the top of the tree. Launching himself from the treetop, Verity startled a flock of colorful birds. He became dizzy with delight. Sure, the bright sun and his lofty speed would turn him golden again. In his joy, Verity forgot he would fall back to earth. Whippity-whappity, flip-bap-wham! Plummeting through the trees, Verity landed in a crooked sprawl across the log on the forest floor. He couldn't move. "Help!" he croaked. As usual, the greens had been watching Verity's antics. They moved quickly to where he lay. "Didn't we say it would come to this?" Umble said, shaking his head. Aggie sighed. "Lucky thing he's still got 2 good eyes." They gently lifted Verity up to a safer place, where they could watch over him while he healed. Neatly splinted to a branch, Verity had no choice but to listen to the greens as they gabbed. "Remember how I used to streak across the forest floor?" Ribbon asked. "Quick as lightning," answered Aggie. "And I climbed giant trees like they were nothing. They grew taller than, you know." "The little things I dared to run down and swallow," Umbles bragged. "Wild boar were no match for me." A boar is like a pig. Verity was astonished. "You used to run and climb and hunt giant pigs? What happened?" "Ribbon crashed, just like you," Aggie replied. "I took a terrible fall and almost put an eye out. Then old Umbles here nearly choked to death. Now we all prefer the quiet life. A warm perch, a little sunshine, and an occasional good meal." The greens rambled on about their days of glory, and Verity settled in on his branch. Finally, one afternoon, Umbles said, "Looks like you're ready to go again." He carefully untied Verity from the branch. "You're welcome to come with us," said Aggie. Ribbon agreed. The 3 greens slipped quietly back into the forest. Verity wasn't ready to join them. He wasn't sure where he wanted to go, so he just stretched and stayed put until the sun went down. He listened to the forest come alive. There's a forest at night. You're in the tropical rainforest. All sorts of critters going. Make a noise there. I think there's even a hidden bug on this page, if I remember right. Oops, bless me. See this right here? Look, almost looks like a leaf, but really it's a bug. Time passed. The sun and moon took turns in the sky. Verity marveled as the full moon grew thinner every night. Then he watched patiently as it slowly grew round again. He wondered why he hadn't noticed that before. Verity became so green that he blended perfectly with the leaves. He was so still that the other creatures walked right by without seeing him. One fine morning, as Verity basked in the sunshine, 2 small yellow snakes approached. They tapped and fidgeted as they stared. "Get a load of that old green guy," one of them whispered. "Do you think he ever moves?" The other snickered. I seriously doubt it. They're just like I used to be, thought Verity, and now I'm what I was afraid to be. He looked at his big green body and slowly smiled. How would you like to climb trees with me? He asked. With you? The yellows were astonished. I'll even show you my fancy figure 8, Verity replied, though he was a little worried about putting his eye out. With practice, the 3 snakes performed a perfect triple figure 8. Leaping and looping with his little striped friends, Verity laughed. I may be big and very green, but I'm still me. I hope some of you guys know some old people in your life who are fun like that and like to do silly things with you. I know my dad, one time he went skateboarding with my kids, and I thought he was a little crazy, but he was having so much fun. It's kind of fun when you know an old person who does silly things like that. So, you guys, I am holding right here one of my tennis shoes. And the reason I'm holding my tennis shoe is because today, for your homework assignment, I am going to ask you to practice tying a shoe. And I know there's a couple of you who can already do it pretty well in class. If you can do it the way that I taught you how to do it, that is perfectly fine. But you might want to ask mommy or daddy to teach you the way that most grown-ups tie their shoes too, because it's always good to know different ways how to tie. I know my son Levi, he's in Boy Scouts, and he's always learning how to do new knots and things, and that's a good skill to have in life. Or like Sawyer, I know you are always out on a sailboat, and if you're out on a sailboat a lot, you should learn how to tie a lot of different kinds of knots. So the first way I'm going to show you here is the easiest way to tie a shoe, and I bet some of your moms and dads don't know this trick, so if you need help tying a shoe, you might want to get mommy and daddy right now and have them come watch how to do this. So what you do is you take your shoe, and most shoes have an extra little hole up here at the top that we hardly ever use. I use them sometimes if I'm going on like a long run or something, but typically most people don't use them. So what you do is you just take the pointy part of your lace and you stick it in there just like that, and you make this big ear. See that? And then you do the same thing on the other side. You just barely stick in that plastic part and you make another big ear. Then you just take those two things and you go across, tuck it through the hole, and pull. And then you do it one more time. Go across, tuck it through the hole, and pull. And then boom, your shoe is double knotted. That's the very easiest way for kindergarten kids to learn how to tie their shoes. So that's a super duper easy way. If you can already do it that way, we've already practiced and you know how, and you want to learn the harder way, so it's similar to that way but a little bit different. Same thing where you just start off with them long, tuck through the hole, pull it tight, and then you just use your thumb here to kind of pull it, make a little bunny ear like that, go around the bunny ear and tuck through the hole, boop, just like that. And then most of the time we like to double knot our shoes so they don't come undone during the school day. So just cross it and tuck it through the middle again and pull it again, just like that. Some of you guys I know don't have shoes with ties on them at your house, but I bet your mom or dad has some. So you could try it out with your mom or dad's shoes, or big brother, big sister's shoes if you need to. Or if you have some yourself, I'd rather you try it on your own shoe while you're wearing it, because it's a little different when you're tying it each different direction if you're facing your shoe or if you're on the other end of your shoe. So that's your big homework assignment for today. I hope you guys are all doing well. We've had some beautiful weather the last few days, and hope you got to play outside lots this weekend. I will see you soon. Bye!